Hey, what is up you guys, the name is Sub-Zero Exabyte. Like always I am coming right back at you swinging from this little place here in Minecraft world. So I decided to come here to my Minecraft world and have some off time to relax a little bit, starting off with the new summer days arriving. So as you saw, I really did not plan on coming back here for a while, so I basically have nothing in my chests and I will need to gather some stuff to make sure that I do not starve in this world, because that would be a very bad thing to happen. But we are with this noob right now. Maybe that noob took some stuff with him the other day. If I find that kid, I am going to give it to him. You have no idea. This is all probably going to be really easy. I mean, come on, give me a break, man. I need this win right now. My god, why does this always happen to me? I cannot get over this right now. So we are going to start out with an idea. I want to build a car inside a house, or the other way around probably, and I want it to be huge, which is my home ground. At least that is what I see myself as right now, so that is really good for me. So let's start by making some actual shelter. So we got ourselves this really cool looking car, and by cool looking I mean really awesome and really cool looking actually. That was just it. I just think that this is an amazing car. I love the old Ford Mustang designs. I love muscle cars in general because, you know, of course, as you can see, I do have a lot of muscle, so I feel like this is the only type of car that I can actually relate to. So let's just leave it at that before some people start hate commenting about my looks, while I know darn well that I look like a miniature version of Bruce Banner, aka the Hulk, but then more like the scientist Bruce Banner than the actual Hulk, because I have a little less muscle definition than he has. But all of that aside, it is time to demolish this car and actually do what I am getting paid for here before my Uncle Mario starts yelling at me in Italian while I do not even know a word of Italian. But then again, he always sounds really angry because he speaks Italian, and really fast, and most Italians love to speak with their hands and arms, so he is like waving his arms around like one of those inflatable balloon things at car parks when he speaks. Now I really do not want people to know where the next thing is going to be, and as you know, if you do not know where something is, then you cannot get to it, and you cannot take anything out of said thing. Now that kind of worked, but that only solved one problem, and do not get me wrong, it did actually solve the problem with people stealing stuff out of my chest, but it did not solve the problem where people were still coming into my house every other freaking day. So today I am going to be combining these two ideas of mine. One is the hiding part, and two is the house part. So since hiding the chests of mine worked out well, I have decided to go out and make my house the same way. I am just going to be building a house that is not like any other house, just so that I can make sure that I do not end up getting swatted and stuff like that ever again. Not that I have ever been swatted, but that was just metaphorically. Now we cannot just hide a house. We have to make this some kind of way where it is just going to be gone, like you cannot see it. So up into the car we go. So we will have to make it fast so we can drive off when we see a noob. And what better way to do this than to just build the house inside the freaking car, people? That is like the best idea that I have ever come up with right now. But first things first, I am already proud of the fact that I was able to get the idea from myself, which I had applied to the chest/stealing problem. So that was a pretty awesome thing, to be honest. But I was able to apply that same idea that I used on the chest problem, and I am going to be putting it to work with the housing problem that I have got right now. But I am just hoping that once I am done with all of this right here, that I can just live here in peace again. But something is telling me that this will not work out the way that I wanted it to. It is just something that I feel coming up. I mean, that does not mean that this is a bad thing. I mean, I would rather have things go wrong while I am in the beginning stages of building this, because otherwise I would have to start all over again when I am almost done. But that is not something that I want to do right now. So I am just praying to the gods that this will actually work in one go, and that I can finally have my dream car. And of course a new house. I will just roll with it right now and try and do my best, because come on, if I can make this cool car with a mechanical entrance, well, come on people, who will be able to find that? There is just no way that anyone will find out that I am here. And otherwise, well, I actually have no idea what I will do then, because this is basically my last resort right now. I am literally on my last straw, since I am looking like a fool trying to do all of this stuff with redstone, because well, I am basically a car house noob, and I do not like it when you guys or someone else will be able to see me as a noob. Alright, so guys, please forgive me right now for what I am doing with this this redstone because I literally have no idea what I am doing right now. This is just some on the fly thinking right here because I literally have no idea how to use all of this. So just beware of that right now. So if you have any sort of tips and tricks for me, well, that will always be welcome, of course. But right now I do not really have enough time to go look for some tutorials because I will really need to make sure that no one is better than me here. So this new supercar house is about to be awesome right now. Now just the technical building stuff, and we are basically done with that thing. So now that we have a car house, or I must say, a big car house, I can just pretty much put whatever I want down there and no one will find out about any of the stuff that I put down there until someone comes along again to blow up my house, and then they will pretty much just find me right there, and at that moment I am probably going to be sad again for another week. But that is just how this goes, I guess. At least with everything that is happening right now, I am able to keep it kind of new and fun, I guess. I mean, it is not that I like the fact that people come in and come find my new house again, but with everything that has been happening lately, and by that I mean all of the hordes of noobs and all those types of things, well, at least my life is getting more and more interesting by the day. So that is a good thing, I guess. At least it is better than sitting around all day with nothing to do, because that is just not what I do around here. I like working in Minecraft and I will continue to do all of this stuff until the end of time itself. Yes, that is right. I am here to stay. I am just thinking out loud right now, so just bear with me so that we can actually get done with some stuff right here, because otherwise we are still going to be building on this thing for the better part of a year or something like that. But to be honest, that is just an educated guess on my end of the spectrum. But let's continue with what I was saying a minute ago, and I was talking about building a cool house, because this is something that I think is really awesome, because the brick and mortar house is by far my favorite one out of all of the styles that you have got around here today. And we switched that up with this Coke truck, which is not that good now that I start thinking about it. It is actually smart that I think about this kind of stuff right now before I start doing them in the first place. But still, that would be pretty cool. At least that is what I think. I mean, no one is going to expect a thing right now, and that is exactly what I want with this right here. So no one will ever be able to go and start stealing some of my ideas again, which is good, so that I do not have go out and make more stuff over and over and over and over again, like I always have to do. So alright, if I may say so myself, I think that the House of Noobs, aka the Noob House, is coming along pretty nicely. Of course, we are just setting up the walls and stuff right now. But like Donald Trump says, there is nothing better than a wall. Okay, he did not really say that, but just let me have a moment here, okay? But yeah, even though we are still building the walls so that everything is sturdy in here, it is actually looking pretty nice. But alright, also decoration is low-key, just high-key right now, so get going on that as well. Just light this bad boy up with light torches and all that kind of stuff. Just whatever you think will fit into this thing, because ultimately it will become your house and maybe one day even your home. And you know how I feel about building a home rather than a house, because a house is just that, a house. It is 4 walls and a roof. But a home is so much more than that. I mean, it still is 4 walls and a roof, but right now it also is filled with love, like a real home should be filled with, in my opinion, of course. To be honest, seeing him build this new home right now also makes me feel at home for some reason, and because I always used to make these things a couple of years back when I was just playing on my own instead of with you guys. But you know, that might actually just be me rambling, to be honest. Who knows, actually. I just know that it feels good to be making this thing right now. But of course I am going to keep feeling this feeling of being home and this feeling of nostalgia. So I thought that today I am going to be pursuing that feeling of nostalgia. And I mean, I really love the feeling of nostalgia just because it makes me feel at home, and it gives me a little throwback to my childhood and stuff. So I am just going to go ahead and do whatever it takes to get that nostalgic feeling back into my veins. And that is really something that I long for right now. Even though all of this has nothing to do with the modern house tutorial, I just feel like sometimes it is just good to talk about things like this, because you could just build this house right here, and it would not feel like home. That would be a bad thing, I guess. So alright, as you may have seen right there, the walls are done, and this wall is going to allow you to just stay with it, and it will not let anyone else in. So that is really cool. and of course no one will notice that this thing is there. I mean, I have my dream car right here. It would have been better in green, but beggars can't be choosers, right? So I am just tired of all this right now. It has been a while without any noobs around here and we are back to the old. Now I only just started this world, and as you have already seen, we have run into a little bit of a hiccup again. Now of course that is nothing new to us, so I am just going to cut right to the chase and I am going to tell you what is going on. So I have got myself a new world today. I have restored all of it a little bit with some touch-up work, and now we at least do not have any homicidal maniac living in front of me. But of course we are getting plagued by some noob again and again and again. It is just the same old that we always had problems with, and the problem is showing itself again, and right now I am going to arm myself to the bone to make sure that no one will ever touch this house again. It will be pretty hard to do, but once I have got it all put together it will be all worth it, and I can go around looking for actual fun stuff to do instead of just moving all day and every day of my entire life because of the actions of people like that Steve noob that always ruins everything. Now this new car design, well, it will be a Ford, I can tell you that much. There will be no one standing in front of this house anymore for like ever. So without further ado, I am going to build this thing like it was built to hold back the Allies on Normandy, and even though that wall did not hold, that wall did actually hold. I mean, it was a big day back then, but the only reason why the Allies won the day was because they had the Americans and the Canadians coming from the back. And right now I do not think that this little Steve noob guy is coming in with a whole ordeal of paratroopers just to fool around with me and my new beautiful house that I built from scratch actually. So I am not going to be building a new one. I will be making sure that no one will ever be able to fool around with my house again, and therefore I will have to do a lot of things to make sure that all of this is going to be bulletproof for once another noob comes back. And trust me on this one, they always end up coming back. So prepare yourselves because the winter is coming and I am sitting on the Iron Throne right about now. But I am telling you guys that all of this is just going to be perfect. And even though I am not specifically one of the best with redstone or actually anything that is too specific in Minecraft, I think that my traps will hold up against some noobs who know even less about this game than me. So they will probably not even notice that these things are pressure plates and that they could just as well be blown up by standing on them. But no, I will not be that harsh. I will just put that light in there so that they will get distracted by the lights and they will probably not even think anything of it. So with all of that said, I think that we might be able to just go on to the next plan in my arsenal. And I am telling you guys that there is always another plan in my arsenal. So that is the only reason why I have not yet given up the fact that I want to live in the Minecraft world for the rest of my natural born life. I am going to be the one that knocks. I will be the danger, and I will never be scared of one of those filthy noobs for the rest of my life, and that is a promise I am going to be keeping for good. And now of course I do know that all of this might sound a little harsh to begin with, but I just want you to start thinking back a little bit. Just make a little compilation in your head. Just a quick compilation of all of the times that some noob kid came into my Minecraft world and just messed all of my stuff up. And by that I do not even mean blowing up my house and all of that stuff. There has just been too much damage done to me and my houses throughout the last couple of weeks, and I am just so done with it at this point that I am willing to do anything in my power to keep these little noobs away from my house so that I can live around this place in peace. And if you do not know why I come here, well then let me tell you why I come here in the first place. It is all about getting some peace of mind down here. In the countryside it is just me and the wind and the green grass. There is nothing but peace. But then once every while there will be this little poop head of a noob who thinks that he can just come up to my house and destroy the peace. Well, this car will stop all of that forever. Well, I do no longer stand for anything like that. So I will be making this my personal mission to keep these guys out, and I will be the one to do it right now. At this exact moment I am willing to go through the dirty work by building the booby traps myself so that I can make sure that they are all set up just right. And with that said, I think that we are actually almost done with this one, but just hold on, because once I am done with these I am ready to go construct my ultimate plan of extreme death. Yeah, I know that I might still have to work on that name a little bit, but that should be all alright. So like I said, Right now I am willing to do all of this myself with just a little bit of engineering knowledge and a whole lot of elbow grease. And that is of course a metaphor. But like I said, this is something that I will have to do to save my sanity, and I am the one who is going insane. So if I want to be the one to save it, then I have got to be the one who does all of that as of right now. And we should be right about done right now. And it is looking darn fine, my dear boys and girls. It is looking rather darn fine. Now of course all of that is what I am doing is just an advice. You do not have to take advice, it is just there to guide you through your life and maybe help you make a decision. But do not forget that advice is just that, advice. It is some sort of way to help you make your decision. It is not there to make the decision for you. So the same goes for me right now. I am here, but I am not letting anything that has happened today affect me. I will just continue on, just like the brick wall that I talked about the other day. That brick wall might be there, but you can always climb it. The ones who think that you cannot climb it, they